Heinemann Higher. Graphs of functions, exercise 3p, question 4. We've got this graph to transform in 4 fairly simple ways. The first of them is this one. Leave the x's alone so the answers will stay in the same positions, but the answers, f's the answer, will all go up 1. So each of these points here, including that turning point at 1, 1, is going to move up 1 to end up looking like this. Where the points that I know are, that point is now at 1, doesn't look very 1 like there. The point that was at 1, 1 is now at 1, 2. And these points that were at 2, 0 and 3, 0 are now all 1 higher, but still at 2 and 3, the answer plus 1. So that just means that they're going to be at 2, 1 and 3, 1, but they're not really significant points because they're not points of intersection with the axis or a turning point. It just depends whether or not you're asked for those 2 particular points to show where everything's gone. B. Y equals f of x plus 1. The answers, no change outside of f, the answers stay, so there's no change to the answers. It's the position that'll change, and what that says is what you're going to plot at x is actually the answer you found at x plus 1. So x plus 1's answer moves back to x. Everything just shifts back 1. So it'll end up like this. That turning point at 1, 1 will now be at 0, 1 and so on. Like this. Where the turning point which was at 1, 1 is now going to be at 0, 1. Answers stay the same. The point that was at 2 is now back at 1. The point that was at 3 is now back at 2. And the point that was through the origin is now back at negative 1. Or you could put in the complete coordinates. 2, 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 0. There. C. Y equals negative f of x plus 1. No change to x, nothing happening inside the bracket. X still stays at x. Answers stay in the same position. What's going to happen to the answers this time? They're going to become the negative of whatever they are. That means they're all going to flip over. They're going to become the negative of whatever they are, and then add 1 on to them all. I don't know where that goes exactly, but I know that this one here is going to move up 1. So it should end up looking like that here, where those 4 points have gone to, well, the original turning point at 1, 1 is now going to be negative 1 plus 1, which is 0. So that's going to be at 1, 0. The point that was at 0, 0 will still be at 0, but the answer will now be negative 0 plus 1 is up at 1. So there it is. The point at 0 goes up to 1. The point at 2, which had an answer of 0, will go up to 1. It's just that it's not a significant point anymore. I'll put it in anyway. Same with the point 3. The point at 3, 0 now goes up to, 3, 1. But they're just sort of floating there. The only significant points are where they cross the axis and that turning point. We'll put them in anyway, just in case they're required. And then D. Y equals negative of f of x plus 2. A change taking place inside and outside. Inside it says the position of the answers are going to change. So all the answers that were at x plus 2 are coming back to reach them at x. So answers are all going to move back 2. And then the answers you've got are now going to become the negative of what they are. So it's back 2 and then turn it upside down. So it'll end up looking like that here. Where those 4 significant points have gone to this. The 3, 2, 1 and 0 have all gone back 2. So the 3 has gone back to 1. The 2 has gone to 0. The turning point at 1, 1 is now at negative 1. And the point that was the origin is now back to at, negative 2. And the answers are simply the negative of what they were. Well, they were all at 0, so they're going to stay at 0, so that's still 1 along 0. If you like, that's still 0, 0. That's at negative 2, 0. That was at 1, 1, so it's now at negative 1, negative 1. So that would be the graph, and that's question 4.